Welcome, fellow degenerates. This
What
is
up?
a phenomenal start to a phenomenal end of a week.
hmm
Thank you for joining the Common Ground Show. We are extremely excited about this week and super desirous of sharing with you our grievances with the world. And we're going to try to start off with a few that kind of fall into a Thomas Talks role. uh, I might run across somebody that followed me on Instagram like 10 years ago. And I started this Thomas Talks, and I would just walk around and I would carry guns and I would make random funny videos about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness that have pertained to gunnery and weaponry. And so, anyways, going to start that over again. Not guns right now. Don't have a litany of them, and they're still owned by other individuals, if you know what I mean. And so we're going to get into that. But I've got three topics for us today that kind of newsworthy that might not be on your radar that I wanted to bring to your attention. The first one is, and I get this from Dr. Steve Turley, and he got this from Promethean Action off of their Twitter account. But the title of this tweet, or this Xing, whatever you want to call it, is Trump's national security strategy just exploded 34 years of globalist policy. The first bullet point was worker first economics now drives defense. The second bullet point, Europe warned of civilization erosion. Third bullet point, our hemisphere is the new priority. The fourth bullet point, no more endless wars. The fifth bullet point, and there's no fifth bullet point. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. So out of those bullet points, all of them speak to me, but the one that jumps out to me first is the civilization erasure in Europe.
Mm.
So one of the main reasons why, and this is kind of grabbed this from a few different individuals, one of the main reasons why we have NATO and all of the other alliances with Europe is because we had shared history, we had shared ideology, we had shared politics, culture, way of life, you name it, we shared it with them. And so why would we not want to be in some type of an alliance to help protect those shared identities? Well, what they're doing is they are allowing a lot of people in that do not share their identity. And that's not racist of me to say, because if those countries where those individuals were coming from Europe, Europeans do not share their identity with Muslim nations. They just don't. Very, very different histories, very, very different cultures. And that's no problem. And that's why we had the Tower of Babel. God sent everybody everywhere because he knew that we couldn't all live together in harmony. We had to occupy different areas of the world so that we could live in worldly harmony, if that makes sense. Um, And so, kind of a shot to the heart for Europe to say, listen, guys, get your house in order. Because right now, your civilization that has been built over thousands of years is eroding. And if you don't stop it now, you're never going to get it back. Um, the second one is our hemisphere is the new priority. And I don't disagree with that. If we can lock down the hemisphere, I don't even know what this hemisphere is called. I call it the American hemisphere. You have North America, South America, and we're a part of North America, but North America to me is like Canada. So you have Canada North, then you have us, which is just America, and then you have South America. And so the Americas hemisphere, lock that down. We have the oil, we have all the natural resources, everything. Obviously, we have the greatest military in the world. That is not debatable still to this day, thankfully. And if we can lock that down, that'll keep a lot of evil that we consider our enemies at bay. And then the third bullet point that really stuck out to me there is no more endless foreign wars. All of you people that are out there being like, Trump wants to put us in wars. First and foremost, if he wanted to, guess what he would have done with Venezuela? He would have sat there and he would have put thousands of troops on the ground. He'd have set up bases. We would still be there. I mean, I'm not trying to fool anybody. I feel like the CIA is there anyways. And so they're doing their thing, but we do not have a ton of boots on the ground. That's huge. That goes against years of American foreign war policy. And so, no, we went in, surgically removed somebody, got out of there, cut ties, get it done. And so that's huge. So the next thing that came to my mind was this is something I'm trying to study more of, but it's in the Quran. And this has to do with is it morally acceptable for Muslims to lie for whatever purpose and reason. And so, and you have to understand also that Islam is at war with the rest of the world. The Quran literally states for them to, what's the word I'm looking for? For them to either you become a Muslim, forgot what that word's called, or you're eradicated from the world.
Convert.
And so convert to Islam or you're eradicated from the world. So they are at war with any culture that is against or that does not agree with Islam, which that would be every culture, every single culture. And so the Quran does forbid lying, considers it as a great sin, but Islamic tradition and interpretations allow lying in specific extreme situations to prevent greater harm, such as saving one's life or avoid severe injustice, a concept sometimes linked to, I'm going to butcher this word, but taqiyya, though it is debated.
Taqiyya.
But taqiyya, okay, taqiyya.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, I butchered it. So one of the other main points that they brought up was that in war, deceiving the enemy in times of war, though with limits like not breaking treaties. Well, we don't have any treaties, to my knowledge, with like Islam itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is justified from this, and this is just a quick Google search. And if you have any issues with it, please, we'd love to hear comments. I'd love to debate you about it. But a quick Google search concerning it is they are justified to lie to anybody that is an infidel, because we're not a part of Islam, and they are at war with anyone that is not a Muslim. So they are justified to lie to that. So my question that I want to phrase to you is, would it be constitutional that if you have somebody that is a devout Muslim, professing Muslim, I should say, not to be devout, I guess, but professing Muslim, that they cannot stand on the witness stand and give account for anything? Because it would be, depending on what case they're sitting on, could they be unbiased, is my question. Could they be unbiased?
According to ex-Muslim, I can't remember his name to reference him, but he was basically saying like they have to be in distress, and just like you read from the Quran, like it has to be, it's only good, or they're only able to use it if they're in a distressful moment. So it's not something that could just always be in taqiyya.
Yeah.
Like based on
Okay, that's a good context.
Yeah.
But you could make an argument that if you've got a Muslim that has charges against him, and then you have another Muslim that saw the situation occur, would it be okay for that Muslim that's going to sit on the witness stand to lie about what they did see the other Muslim do.
Mm.
So it's just I just wonder about that, like, because if the Bible had verses in the Bible that said, "Hey, it's justified to lie in certain situations," I would think it would be justified for somebody to call into question the ethics and morals of a Christian that would stand up on the stand to give account for anything. I would expect that,
I mean, I just expect that with everybody because we're all
right?
people. but
Fair.
but it's I definitely can see it. Um, but 1 second, we got a guest that just hopped on. We got my boy Dustin who just hopped on.
Dust might.
Yeah, let's get him. There we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, this
Dude, did
boy
you
got
buy
a
a mic for
mic.
yourself?
Yeah, we got a little microphone, better audio.
Let's
I
go.
love it. I love it.
How's it sound?
It
It
sounds
sounds
good.
good.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
You got good lighting in there too. That's better than both Jacoby and I together.
Man, my wife set this up, so it's better than anything I would have come up with.
Man, marriage.
I love it. I love it. Um, well, Dustin, you got on at the right time. So I'm kind of going through three big topics of the week. The first one we chatted about was kind of Trump's national security strategy. He wants to um, worker first economics now drives defense. He warned Europe of their civilization erasure. He wants to make the North American hemisphere the new priority, and he wants no more endless foreign wars. And so I thought that was a pretty big deal. And then the next one we were talking about is in the Quran, how they have some verses in there that do justify for Muslims to lie
Mm-hmm.
in certain occasions. I want to make sure I say that in certain occasions for to help themselves to either not have harm come to them or anything along those lines. And so
Mm-hmm.
my question for that is it should we draw into question, should Muslims be able to be trusted if they're ever called to be on the witness stand? That was my question. And because and we equated it back to Christianity, like if the Bible had verses in there that said, hey, it's justifiable for you to lie in certain situations, I would expect people to call into question Christians. Would
Right.
Could you trust a Christian on the witness stand if their book that guided them told them certain situations you could lie? And the final thing I wanted to bring up was Senator Marsha Blackburn from the great state of Tennessee. She had a meeting, I guess, that today, actually, because I saw this Xing today. It says the Government Accountability Office estimates that the federal government loses up to $521 billion to fraud every single year.
Freaking
And
Somalians, man.
that is outside of what Doge found, I believe. I could be wrong, but that the Government Accountability Office is very different than what Doge was.
Mm.
So I'm like, if the Senate can see $521 billion wasted to fraud, like at the end of every single year, they should just not re-up those programs. Like you
Yeah.
committed fraud of the taxpayer money, done. You're done.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
they would, general everyday people, man, would be locked up for way less crimes.
We are locked up for way
And
less
it
crimes.
and it's power and money, man. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately because if you look at the people who started our country, and basically, like a lot of the ones in office today are still related to a lot of those people. So there's like been nepotism. So you have the great, great, great grandkids of people who used to work really hard for what we have, and now they just it's basically rules for thee, not for me.
Hmm.
And it's the good old boy club, man. We got all the power, and you can there it's closing in on that global government, man. It's you can see bits and pieces of it with these corporations trying to buy up so much of our land, and then allowing like these fraudulent cases to just get swept under the rug. And then, man, kids can't even buy houses now. But
Hmm.
other people can come in and just take advantage of all our commodities and all this nice stuff that we have here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I saw this video of this African literally talking to these protesters, and he was like, "Do you understand? Like, this place is amazing." It's like, if you don't like America, go away, go away, go somewhere else, go to my country. If you don't like America, go to my country.
No,
It's
but I
like,
mean that does. Go ahead.
nah, he was just basically saying like, in that perspective, he was just saying like all black people ain't the same. Like if black people go, American black people go to Africa, he said, you will be rejected. You won't survive. Like, and I think that's more specific on black people, but in the grand scheme of things, is people are taken for granted where they live by ignorance because of ignorance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I did.
Well, it's not ignorance. Well, it is ignorance, but
Yeah, I was ignorant.
it's a comfortable quality of life. Like we do not understand. Like I don't even think I understand how good we have it in America, even compared to like European countries. European
Yeah.
countries, they have great weather and wonderful stuff of that nature, but the freedoms, the liberties that we do share here, the power that we have to remove our elected officials um, is second to none. Even though people do believe that their vote doesn't count, which I mean it does. Like Jacoby, you and I talked about it a few episodes back. I can't remember, Dustin, if you were on it or not, but we just had a mayoral race, and our mayor won by I think like 1,400 votes. Like
Ooh.
1,400 votes is not a lot of votes.
No.
Like it is. I mean, that's like you can count to 1,400 pretty quick, and so that's a lot. 1,400 people that could have sat at home and not voted, and our election could have gone very, very different. And so your vote does count, and I wish people would wake up to that.
Well, that's the trick. Is like if you keep making people second guess their vote,
Hmm.
and the weight of it, then eventually people will believe that it doesn't count. Because I fell for that trap, and I was like, man, what's the point? Like,
You wrote in Jesus.
I did right in Jesus. That was 2020.
People need some Jesus, man. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Fair, fair.
And so I didn't like how people were making me choose a side. Like, you gotta choose the lesser evil. I was like, man, I get to do whatever I want to. So I chose Jesus. Uh,
Yeah, you got a right to vote. It's not a duty. You you
yeah,
you have a right. Nobody's making you do that, and
yeah,
that's right, man. That's unfortunate, man. People like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I can relate to the feeling that it doesn't matter because I was on that side. But knowing the truth and knowing this game that they played to make you feel like you don't have a voice, that gives the people that they bring in illegally the capability to have that voice that you believe you don't have.
And those people
Yeah.
that they bring in illegally will do whatever they're told to do, because most of these countries where you come from, The government tells you to do something, you jump as high as you can. We
Yeah.
come from an ideology in America where if the government tells us to do something, we stick our middle finger up and we say go kiss rocks. Like very very different mindset and mentality and ideology from birth. From birth. And so if they say, "Hey, you come here and then you go do this thing," they're probably going to go do it. And they're like, what do I put down on the sheet of paper? I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to be kicked out. I don't want to be put in jail. Tell me what to do, and they go do it.
And for the money too.
Yeah,
I mean, $5 grand a month to live for 2 years. That's insane.
untaxed.
Untaxed. Like, bro, and that's the crazy part. Every poor person in America should be pissed. Absolutely pissed
Oh yeah.
and outraged that these foreigners came over here, took money that you could have got to take care of your family, and they took advantage of it. And now you're out there like fending for yourself. So it's
And
I
we in some wild times.
yeah. It's literally like a bully. You know, in school, like bullies used to try to bully you in secret so they didn't get caught. This is like, man, I'll bully you in public. I don't care. Like, my parents ain't at home. Like, it's nobody gonna save you. That's what this feels like. Straight bullying from a government that we are supposed to be in control of, and not vice versa.
And the media let lies about everything, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, man, it's fascinating. You watch like any kind of documentary on like a full totalitarian state, man. They
Mm-hmm.
control every bit of information those people get, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
you get people believing Kim Jong Un doesn't even poop. He don't even have to take shits. He's just like a god to them people. They believe it, but it's because of propaganda, but we don't like to believe that shit's happening here. And you talk to most people, you really get in a little bit to their views, and you realize, man, like, where'd you hear that from? And they just heard somebody say it. They just heard somebody tell it to them, you know? And it's just like it doesn't go much deeper than that. And I think after COVID, man, that woke a lot of people up to that I can't trust the media. I can't trust my government. There's a reason why we have checks and balances because people are evil, man. We have a nature to turn towards ourselves and and serve ourselves, and that doesn't change just because you got a fancy title behind your job and you're a congressman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do we spark change? Because I kind of disagree with you, Dustin, on the COVID thing. I feel like people went to sleep after COVID. I felt like COVID made people almost dependent
Well,
on.
some people certainly, but there's people that, yeah, I'd say like probably, like the people that I guess I'd say you could classify as more left leaning. The ones that were pretty hard left, they went harder left during all that because it was like a middle finger to the conservative establishment to wear your mask and to follow the rules and to
Hmm.
virtue signal and to, "Oh, I'm doing my part. I'm saving lives." And it's like, man, that same government was telling people to stay inside, don't get sunlight, um, don't eat meat, red meat, eat anything but healthy stuff, and like all the people that they were quote unquote that were getting killed, every one of them were like people that already had like severe problems, and they were like morbidly obese or old. And everybody bought that crap, man. Everybody bought that the world was dying over, man, from some apocalypse. I know people my age that died, but they were like, there was one case I know of a chick. She had already had double pneumonia and then caught COVID. It was like it's like they hyped it up so much, and all you've seen during that time was pharmaceutical ads. And then anybody else that said another medicine other than those three, they would ban them. And there's people that made a living off of that. They banned them for life off social media, silenced them. Doctors tried taking their license. Like,
Hmm.
people went nuts, man. That's why, at least me, I can't speak for everybody, but I know a lot of people after COVID, man. They're like, man, I'm not listening to none of this shit no more. I'm not listening. I'm gonna go back to the old way of life. I'm gonna research this shit for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was a weird shift. I do think a lot of people, I don't think there was a ton of, it would be interesting to see the amount of people that were like hard leaning left, and then they either lived in hard leaning left states or they lived in Republican states, and they were either hard leaning left states. They said, "Holy cow, I do not appreciate this totalitarian type of crackdown upon me," or they lived in Republican states, and they said, "Wow, I have a lot more freedom in this state than I do if I was in California or New York, or
Yeah.
I think Illinois was pretty bad, Washington, Oregon, um, and to see like how far to the right they might have moved as opposed to either staying neutral or moving further left. It's hard for me to think that more people moved further left on those issues. I could be completely wrong. But I do agree with you, Jacoby. There was a lot of people that just they put their heads in the sand and just said, "Wake me up when this hell's over." There were a lot of people that did that, and you know
Bro,
what? Those are those
boomers, bro.
people. Yeah, those are those people that didn't vote. They didn't vote. They don't care.
That's what I'm telling you. Boomers, I don't have boomer parents, but they might as well be boomers because they get set in their ways, and there is zero chance you're changing their mind on certain issues, and it's just like, that's just how they were. Them Reagan era people, man. It's like, that's that's kind of what you're dealing with some of them.
Hmm.
Like, I
Well,
don't
I'll
know,
say
man.
this.
I still go ahead, go ahead.
Like, so during that time, COVID, I would I would be more on the liberal side. Um, Probably heavy leaning liberal. Um,
Yeah, but you didn't want everybody to be flicking like you can't leave your house until these parts of the day. You
well,
you didn't want to.
here's my point though. I didn't understand my rights. I didn't understand where I live. I didn't understand the power that I possessed in this country. Like I truly didn't. And so if somebody told me I had to do
I
this,
mean, let's
I
be
would
real. You
have
didn't
done
have
it.
any power.
Huh?
Let's be real. You didn't have any power.
Most people?
No, you didn't have any power.
What do you mean?
You know why? You know you didn't. You know why you didn't have any power.
Oh, because I'm black. That's what they say. But it's like I
That's what they
literally
want you to think.
yeah. But I did not think I
For real.
had a say so. Like I thought we had to do whatever the upper management said, but you learn that through school. And that's why I was so defiant in school. Not I mean, we go into like sin and stuff like that. But I was defiant in school because nobody would explain things to me. It's like I was a question asker. Like I wanted to understand what you're telling me. I'm slower than other people. Like in jujitsu, bro. I'm asking Coach Bob, "Hey, run that drill again," and then he'll clap and be like, "3, 2, 1, go," and I forget every damn thing. Like I'm really, I'm like, "Hey, where I start again?" Like, am I top, bottom? Like what?
Help me help you, coach.
Yeah, and so with that, I truly, um, because I didn't understand all those things, I didn't feel like I had the option to stand up and be like, no. If people knew they had options, that they truly had options, and they didn't have to allow stuff to happen, I think it would be a different America. But there's a
Why in
lot
the
of people
world?
on the left that are unaware of the power that they possess as a citizen of America.
Why did you? Why did you? One, why did you not know that you had power? Two, why did you not know you had power?
I never
Like,
seek
it just.
I never seek to learn, nor was I taught that I had power. In
What were you
school,
taught?
huh?
What were you taught?
Black history.
Okay, and
White people,
like was Black History? You had no
White
power.
people suck.
bro, it was like honestly, I remember being in school in high school, and I never, uh, well, I could say his name, Coach Ag. He was a coach, but he was also a history teacher, and he looked like Justin Timberlake, and all the girls, even like staff, everybody liked that man. And I was like, you know what? I can't be mad. That man, he's a attractive man. So, like, good looking dude. Uh, but not like one of the biggest things that I realized in school, even white people, when they talk to black students, they would try to relate and be cool with them and try to get in good graces. So when they would tell you things about history or tell you things about anything that was related to a racial thing, they always took the side of a black person. So whether
Okay,
they
so why
tried to
did
give you
that?
the whole context or not, like it was more persuaded in the side of the black person as the victim.
So there was no friction to challenge your thought process.
No, they just people accepted it. Even at Cottage Hill, people accepted it. Nobody came to me other than Mr. Benny. Mr. Benny was the first person to be like, "Hey, all this stuff you talking about, like, it's not true." Even me wanting to go to college, he rejected it. He was like, "You don't have to go to college." I was like, "What am I gonna do? Own a restaurant like you?" Like that would have been a great idea.
Right?
That
Give me
ain't a
some
bad
barbecue,
idea for
please.
real.
But I was ignorant until people who were not ignorant started to tell me things that I never knew. And that caused me to research and start to define whatever they were telling me. Because before, I didn't have to search because whatever I believe, it was already told to me that it was true. So I didn't have to think more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow you. And in fact, actually, it's a good point to make that crap, I just left my train of thought just left me. I don't know, I was going to say the people in your life matter. Like
Mm-hmm.
you oh yeah, that's it. Like the you would have probably never changed your mentality if you didn't have to have your thought process put up against some type of friction. And
Facts.
so that is the beautiful thing about this country where we have our First Amendment of freedom of speech is, yeah, we should do it with respect towards other individuals, but I should be able to 100% disagree with you and have a very, very casual conversation about our disagreement. We might not we might not walk away from that completely agreeing with each other, but I would bet money that we would walk away with a deeper respect for probably why each of us think the way we think. And that's why we're the common ground show. Like, we want to have those discussions with people.
Mm-hmm.
I might vehemently disagree with you, but I want to talk to you about it. Do I want to change your mentality? Do I want to change your mind? Absolutely, I do. But I might not be able to. But at least you and I could talk. And you asked the question earlier, Jacoby, like, how do we get the country back to a place where we have common respect? I think that's what the question you were going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
The way we get there is we have discussion. Like, both sides of the aisle cannot be fearful of just speaking with the other side. But the Marxists in this country, they've done a beautiful job of making us hate the other side. That's what they want to do. It's called what's it
Oppressed
called?
oppressor.
Yeah, oppressed. It's oppressed oppressor, and it's intersectionality. That's the word. The more oppressions you have that intersect with each other, then you're more of an oppressed individual over the person standing next to you. You know, if you're a lesbian, you know, that's one thing that's against you. But if you're a black lesbian, then that's two things that are against you. So you are more oppressed than just the quote unquote a lesbian.
Yeah.
And like that's a terrible way to go about and live your life. That's a terrible. Like I don't want anybody to go around and think that those are the two things that need to define you the most. You know, like that's horrible. And then they sit there and say, okay, well, if you are in one of those two categories, then white men hate you by nature. No, I don't. I don't think Dustin, do you? No.
No.
Like, I mean, like, it's just.
It took him a second.
I got a lag, man.
Yeah,
He was
there is
like,
a little bit of a lag.
nah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, there's
Are
a
you
little
gonna
bit.
ask
It
me?
That's
reminds me
true
of
though, man. The oppressed oppressor model. I mean, it does like several things, but it makes it makes groups and identity politics, like it starts to put that over, like that is the new form of ethics. So if so
Mhm.
like you said, they give value to victimhood, and so you got people who grew up very well just virtue signaling. Oh, they're the ones that they have never faced any like real hardship, or they're just losers and don't have anything going on, so they just want to take on the world's problems and say that they're a social justice warrior and all this nonsense. But they, like, if you ask them for, like, hey man, can you help me just I don't know, get this tire out from under my car? Ooh, no, I can't do that. They couldn't imagine doing something like that. But it's like, but like you said, but Jacoby, you talked about it too, man. Like you literally got a ginormous amount of black people who have just been told that everybody is out to get them, and it's not just them now. That has made its way into the colleges. So now you got white ivory tower children who grew up with silver spoons saying that they are pans transsexual just to get an applause from people. That's how crazy
Mhm.
people are, man. That's how bad people want attention.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
that
It's
if
attention.
yeah, man. But if that makes its way into policy, what does that mean when you have a military behind it? Well, that means, man, like it does in England, man. You say the wrong thing, we're coming to lock you up because you're an
Mhm.
oppressor. You're talking about the oppressed people. That is unethical because you violated our morals. That's the problem with their whole Marxist, all of it, the postmodernism. You take God out, you have taken the objective standard for all humanity out of your life. So then you just get to come up with your own worldview, and that's what Marxism, totalitarian states, all that crap is, man.
Yeah. I think that's a huge thing. And I also will say that I think people, my people, black people specifically, uh, is in a spot where we have a choice. So just saying this to white people, it's like white people need to step up and correct the things that they see as well and speak truth into the things that they see. despite whatever responses it is. And I feel like this whole Marxism agenda is really shutting up people who are people who were very vocal. And it's like, because me and Thomas, our friendships started over us just chewing each other out. Like, we just go back and forth. Like, man, I disagree with you. It's like, no, I disagree with you. Until we were like, you know what? I kind of agree with that.
Then
Like,
2020 happened, and you didn't agree with me on anything.
yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But but yeah, but that tells you something though. It was within me to conversate in a healthy way, and the good part about it, it was in a safe space, or a common ground place, which was a church, is where our friendship started. And so we was able to, well, at least me, I was able to feel a little bit safer about talking racial things to a white person, because I'm like, oh, he's a Christian. And that's what made me more okay with talking to white people. Because if they were white Christians, I was like, okay, they might not be racist. But if they're
They
not
might not
Christian,
be racist.
for real, like that's how I was looking at it. And I was like, if they aren't Christian, 100% racist. Like that, I ain't talking to them. And so with that ideology, or with that thought process, dude, I shot myself in the foot, but I continued to try. And that's what gave me the ultimate ability when we fell out in 2020. And then 5 years later, it was like, dang, I was wrong. Like all the stuff that I believed in was wrong. And I had
It was
the,
4 years later.
huh?
It was 4 years later.
I thought it was 5.
Technically, we fell out in 21, and then we came back together shortly after the election in 24. But anyways, that's
What was
I
the
like it.
falling out over?
He thought I was racist and wrong about everything.
Based on
I mean,
what?
There's no lie to that.
I say that in jest, but that really was kind of
Yeah.
the crux of it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to, man, the more I'm listening to these streams and debates and stuff, I'm starting to realize, man, and like learning philosophy, man, if they ain't got a justification for what they're saying, man, they just talking nonsense, bro. That's just their opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I justified it because we had conversations about Trump and about Ahmaud Arbery, about George Floyd, and then Thomas was trying. It was that kid that shot at the like one of the riots or whatever.
Kyle
Kyle
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah, Rittenhouse. And then Thomas was like on his side, and I was like, "Whoa, how could you do that, man?" I was like,
Bro, he's training jiu-jitsu now. He was training with, I think, Gordon Ryan, dude.
"Oh, for real?"
Yeah.
Dude, that kid is a monster, dog.
Bro. Hey, man.
Kyle kind of turncoated. Actually, he kind of kicked Trump to the curb, and because Trump wasn't what was it? He wasn't going as hard. He wasn't going as protective, I think, of the Second Amendment as what Rittenhouse wanted, and so he put his whatever political weight behind. I think like a very much so third party candidate, if I remember correctly, but. It kind of sucks because I mean I'm not for like, hey, I owe you, but uh, Trump and the Republican the MAGA, I should say, not Republican, but the MAGA weight, I think really did do a really good help to keep Rittenhouse out of jail, or at least in like the public opinion.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah,
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
interesting. Jacoby, you had something you wanted to talk about with insurance?
Yeah. So this is today's topic. Is healthcare. The healthcare plan that got released by Trump today. We won't hit on everything because we won't have that much time left. But literally, Trump released it around 12 o'clock today on Instagram on his personal page. It's called the American, or not the American, the Great Healthcare Plan. I gotta find my phone. Anyway,
Oh, come on.
the Great Healthcare Plan, and here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing I remember from watching that video is he said about 80 to 90% discount, or not discount, but just the actual rate of prescription drugs. 80 to 90% less money you'll be spending on prescription drugs. That's big, especially somebody who got diagnosed with MS in 2020, numb legs and all that type of stuff. By the grace of God, I've been able to not have to depend on those what do you call it, infusions, which is Ocrevus for people who have MS. You would know what that drug is. So Ocrevus is something I have to take 8 hours to do, to sit and put an IV in my arm and sit in the chair for 8 hours, and that's $100,000. $100,000. And it's like, why? Like, oh, and I had to get 2 per year. That's $200,000.
Oh, screen
Who,
time.
even a millionaire, would look at that and be like, I don't think that's the best
What's the
financial
password?
decision I could make.
Right. So I'm looking at it right now, and the one that's sticking out to me right now is lower insurance
password?
premiums.
I did it already.
Um,
0804.
You're live.
I'm muting him.
Okay. I'll need that
There we
information.
go.
He's back.
All right, cool. Yeah, so lower insurance premiums. It says send one of the ones that he did want to do this. Send the money directly to the American people. So what they want to do is stop sending big insurance companies billions in extra taxpayer funded subsidy payments, and instead send that money directly to eligible Americans to allow them to buy the health insurance of their choice.
Yep.
I don't like I think I talked with you about this, Jacoby, when we first read about this a few weeks ago. I don't have an issue with that. If the government's going to sit there and spend that money no matter what, yeah, give it to the people to pay for their insurance. But even then, like, that's socialized medicine. Like, what I
It's
would rather
cheaper to
you
pay
do,
out of pocket now.
yeah, kind of in a way. What I want you to do is don't tax me on it. If you're going to sit there and say $36 billion, I think, no, $36 billion, fund a cost sharing reduction program for healthcare plans, which would save taxpayers at least $36 billion and reduce the most common Obamacare plan premiums by over 10%. So, one, if you're going to cut $36 billion and whatever this, send the money directly to the American people, what I want you to do, just don't tax me. Don't tax me. Like, don't take it from my left pocket, put it in your pocket, and then return it back to my right pocket and tell me you're giving me a benefit. Like, just don't
Thomas,
take the money from me.
That is how taxes work right now in America.
Yeah,
and
stop taxing me.
Hopefully, Trump will implement, and it will be passed for no taxes. in 2026.
Yeah.
Because that would be the best thing. That is the part of my libertarian class self would love to see and love to be a part of, because
Libertarian.
I consider myself more libertarianism than conservative.
Oh, we gotta have a debate now, bro.
well,
I gotta talk you out of that nonsense.
Well, it was mainly from me watching Milton Friedman, so I didn't really do heavy research on it. But watching Milton Friedman, and he claims libertarianism, is his main thing was like, dude, like I just don't the least amount of government intervention, period. And that's how I feel. Like that's the biggest thing for libertarianism that strikes me, and I'm like, yeah, I want that the least amount.
But see, that ain't even. That's what pisses me off about libertarians. It ain't libertarian. That's just like constitutional. Like
Yeah, man.
the
That's like
Constitution.
that's America.
Yeah,
that's
but
that's what pisses me off about people. Like I'm a Democrat.
Libertarians
I'm a
are
Republican. I'm a
more.
libertarian.
They're more like, oh, you do you and I'll do me. Just kind of less anybody intervene, and that includes Christians, by the way. That's the problem. Because they nationally, I mean, most even famous libertarians are agnostic. They're a maybe. They can't even make their mind up one way or the other. Oh, I'll claim like I'm this or that, but like a lot of them, when you ask them like, can you make any actual basis or any real justifications for anything? It's just kind of like, well, I just kind of want to be left alone and everybody do what they want to do. It's like you can't just have everybody do what they want to do, because if you don't have that standard, God, then what if what they want to do is murder people? Who are you to say they're wrong? You're not. You can't. But that's most libertarians. They don't even realize that's what it devolves to. It still devolves to hedonism.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't argue on that, because my only point was Milton Friedman.
No, I will say this. If you're going to sit there and you're going to break the Constitution up into different ideological sects, yes. Libertarian.
He was Jewish, though. I don't know if that means anything.
What does it matter? It doesn't mean anything. Libertarianism of the Constitution, when it comes to economics, I think that they do have it best. Maybe conservatism has a good argument against them, but I mean, yeah, get the frick out of my life, please.
Yeah, well, I feel like conservatives are okay with too much government, and I think that's what kind of
Republicans are. But conservatives are not. Conservatives, I think, are the ones that like they hold closest to the Constitution of, hey, we understand we might need to have a few public things. We get that. The Constitution kind of speaks to that a little bit. But at the end of the day, get the frick off my lawn. And if I want to go to your house and chew you out, I get to do that because that's my constitutional right. Because you, Mr. President, or you, Mr. Senator, Miss Congressman, whatever, you work for me. Like, you're my employee. Let me go chew you out. Please.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Like, I definitely see that conservatives and Republicans are confused as well, because Republicans claims conservatives claims Republicans, and like they're interchangeable. Like, I've seen and heard Republicans be like, I'm conservative, and I've seen the vice versa, and it's like, so for you to say that conservative Republicans are different in thinking, I feel like that's hard, because I've met too many people that claim them both.
No, how you want to look at it is conservatives are to Republicans what liberals are to Democrats. Like you take a Republican and you say, okay, what are you? And then you could say, I'm a social Republican. Okay, then what that means is they vote more on Republican social issues. You could say I'm a more liberal Republican. So that means is that they vote more liberally, probably like middle of the ground type of conservative, not conservative, Republican voting. If you say I'm a conservative, people automatically know, okay, like you're not crazy, but you're as far right without being crazy. And if you say you're a liberal, then you're about as far left without being Bernie Sanders.
You couldn't say crazy because crazy.
Yeah.
Even when you put your foot a little bit over there, they're a little crazy.
The line is moved.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk is a massive point to say the line moved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Elon Musk is a conservative. I would say he's a Republican.
Yeah, man. The whole Republican side, it's fascinating how right after Trump won, and these conflicts start going on, you see immediate split even amongst, like you said, conservative or Republicans, man. Just on Israel or Ukraine or just they'll have conservative values on one thing, but not align up with what the Republican Party's currently doing, or and vice versa. It's pretty wild how, again, I mean, I think it's my tinfoil hat says it's kind of by design, man. I think they want people in classes like that. That's that oppressed oppressor stuff, man. And when you have people split by identity, and you don't have a value structure, it's easy to start knocking this group off, knocking that group off. I mean, look what they
Yeah.
tried to do to Trump and to anybody who disagreed with him during COVID. I refer to that because that's going to be a staple in our country's history.
Yeah.
It will. Yeah.
Facts.
I derailed your insurance conversation, Jacoby.
Nah, that was in line with it. I mean, it all stems from the same thing. Uh, when you have too much government, we have problems. People people become dependent and less independent. We need more independent people, independent thinkers. Like I've been feeling more and more excited about being a man lately than I ever have in my life.
Doing
Because it
jiu-jitsu now.
huh?
Doing jiu-jitsu now. That's why, dog.
Well well some people might be like, oh, that's gay. But
I
but
mean,
not
it's
it,
that too, but I mean.
yeah. But it's just more so that I understand that, man, we have the freedom. Like, I mean, thinking about Coliseum times, like how as guys we honored each other, and we honored each other as for his efforts and work ethic, and and it was all based on honor. And that's the thing that the government took advantage of, is when they stepped in, they removed the capability for us to keep the honor system amongst people in America. It became individualistic. It became
Opportunistic.
opportunistic, solopreneurs, and I think I know for a fact, in my opinion, that that is one of the biggest reasons why we're falling. Rome fell in in a very similar way, and we had a podcast on that
We
too.
got
So
yeah. And my main point as we close here is Rome fell because they got rid of the morality. They moved like Rome started off very I think it was Christian, And as they got away, as they got more and more creature comforts, I mean, they created a lot of like modern day creature comforts. They recognized, oh, I don't have to work as hard. Well, when you think you don't have to work as hard, you get away from the one thing that God told us to do, which is toil and toil well. And when you do that, then you start saying like, oh, look what I created. Oh, look what I can do. Oh, I can chill today. Oh, I can just sit here and eat grapes and look over my vineyard. Oh, well, why don't we just have a massive coliseum to get people comfortable? And oh, we're only going to put people in there that are really bad people. And then they get to kill each other and slaughter each other. And we get to watch that. And then our brains rot watching people slaughter each other. Oh, let's throw some lions in there. It's just a slow degradation when you get away from your common morality. And again, people will argue and they'll say we're not a biblical country. We are founded on biblical principles. Every single thing in our Constitution most every single thing in our Constitution was founded on a biblical principle. And once we move away from those things, you just degrade, no matter what you do.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, Rome, man. Rome's fascinating, man, because up to around 300 years after the resurrection, they were still persecuting Christians, and up until Constantine, and then but prior to that, they had like this very hedonistic empire of worshiping false gods and living like LA and some of these cities are literally trying to live now of just hedonism everywhere. But then like you said, Constantine decriminalized Christianity, and then this is what changed the world, man. Whenever from the resurrection up until 1054 AD, the church was the exact same. Right, and then in 1054, the West, that was the Roman side of the empire. That's when they went Catholic. They enacted a pope, and so then they started adding way more and more doctrine to the original church. And then on the East, you had the Orthodox who split because they excommunicated the Catholics because they just went against the way the original church originally was, and it's all documentable. That's what's fascinating, is you can read where this side of the empire started adding stuff and then started to put man back in front of God, and then but either way, Christianity just started to boom around the entire west side of the world. But like you said, man, that made its way. That changed the world. And there's been no other empire, not just Rome, but it's the same empire ultimately that Rome allowed to start up a Christian empire, man, and that changed the entire world. And America was founded on that, and I believe that's why we rose to power and to such. We got spoiled, man, so fast. Very fast. And I think it's just because a Christian life gives you a very blessed and fruitful life, man. When you have ethics and discipline in your life, you'll tend to make more money in the long run. You'll tend to have a better, more loyal wife and kids and people around you in the long run. And then what does that say if the whole country's doing that? You got a whole society of people who know how to act, man. And that's what I feel like we're lacking now. And it's good to see, some like good Christian apologists and people, nationally talking about Jesus again, man. And it sparked some awesome debates theologically. I don't know if y'all get into that a lot, man, but I love theology debates and stuff like that, man. And it's getting people back into talking about Jesus. It's just fascinating to me, man, because just a few years ago, man, people would they would cut cameras off on national TV on people who would say stuff about Christ or Christianity. And now, you hear Rogan talking about going to church now. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And honestly, I think next week, me and Thomas, we've been talking about my journey in my deep dive into scripture, and I've been really wanting to talk about how we can intertwine uh, scripture into today. But then I thought about it. I haven't told Thomas this yet, but it felt like topical preaching. So I was like, I would rather just discuss scripture, and then we kind of, in my opinion, I read scripture as a spectator, not as a. I'm not trying to figure it out. I used to read scripture where I'm trying to figure out everything. What does this mean? What does that mean? How does this mean? Like whatever the case may be. But I
There's
wanted
two
to read.
ways you're gonna go about this.
Huh?
There's only two ways you're gonna be able to go about this thing you're wanting to do.
What?
So if and this goes into a way deeper conversation, but
Mm-hmm.
Which we're gonna
I
have
have
next week.
I grew yeah. But what the only point I was getting at, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The only point I
You
was
good?
getting
No,
at
no.
is like I have recently, me and my wife, we left our Baptist church. We left Protestantism. We've been visiting an Orthodox church. I'm not Orthodox. And like it don't work like that. I can't just say I'm that now and represent that. That's not how it works. But I I have come to like just kind of get my hands off of like trying to interpret scripture for myself and just been more or less like kind of reading and talking to some people like at this church and just listening to other people, like not that I'm not reading it and trying to understand it, but like I don't agree anymore that like the individual gets to make the decision ultimately of what the interpretation is. I think Christ handed that down through laying his hands on his disciples, and therefore after that, and you have a historical record of these guys that the disciples laid their hands on, that they laid their hands on, and that don't mean people didn't err throughout history, but it's like a very, very clear line of succession. And these guys believed in the first 1,000 years of the church way different than Baptist belief. Way different. And it's not that like not that it's not about Jesus Christ or anything like this. It's just about like doctrinal stuff, baptism, the Eucharist, Israel, stuff like this. These are like core stuff that this is one reason you're seeing the Republican and conservative split right now. You're seeing Orthodoxy and Catholicism, and you're seeing Protestants on one side. That's ultimately what you're seeing amongst like Christian, Republican, and conservative right now. There's like a big like bubbling up happening right now.
Yep.
I can see that.
Sorry, I'll quit ranting. My bad.
Nah, I could definitely see that. But yeah. So guys, um, man, let us know in the comments down below if that's something you guys want to see. You want to see that debate. If you guys want a person that you feel like would be good for the debate, put it in the comments below. And honestly, I'm still excited about being black. I'm still excited about being black. I'm saying this for the black viewers. See, y'all don't get it. Like, see, to my people, they think I don't want to be black. I don't like being black. I love being black. I'm actually dark skinned, so
I
I'm
get
more
what you mean.
black than most people. So I feel like it just makes me a better representation. But anyway, all that to say, guys, this was a great episode. I appreciate you being on, Dustin. I appreciate my co-host Thomas, and guys, we are going to wrap this up, and we'll see you all
Appreciate
next
y'all
week for the
having me,
next
guys.
episode.
And if you do watch this between now and next week, we will be live. And I haven't discussed this with Jacoby, but we'll be live Tuesday night.
Uh,
The 20th.
yeah, we'll be live Tuesday night.
Sweet.
That man getting in my jujitsu schedule. Coach Bob gonna be pissed. But anyway.
No, we
But-
can do it a little bit later if we need to. We can.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll be live Tuesday night. Come rain or shine, hell or high water. We'll be live.
Bet. Oh, it's Thursday. All right, we got a couple days before we live again, guys. All right, see you guys. Thanks for being here.
Deuce.
Appreciate it.